public safety. It's been mentioned several times. Let's discuss the subject of homelessness as it affects the city. Of the 150 agencies and cities listed in Riverside County's 2013 homeless survey, Corona did not participate in the counting of homeless. How would you describe Corona's homeless situation, and should the city take steps to be a working partner with the Riverside County Continuum of Care system, which has decreased the number of homeless adults and children 31% between 2011 and 2013? Dave?
All right, I'll start.
I know it's a broad question.
I have direct experience dealing with the homeless, obviously in my career, and most recently working with the railroad. Some people are truly homeless. Some really do need help. We need to separate those, let's call them the victims of society, that can accept our help and deal with those. But then we have the plague of those that are con men and criminals. They're out there. Do not turn your backs on. They're not safe. When you can convict and put a pedophile in prison, where do you think they live in the community? They can't. Be careful when they're in the parks. That is why we need the police to come out and tell us who these people are and work with them or arrest them.
Well, first of all, there's two types of homeless that we have in Corona. One is residents that actually grew up and went to school here. One was a year behind me in school all the way through. And you know, when his parents died, he could no longer afford to keep his house. So he was homeless here in the community. And then there's others that are brought into the community. So I feel that we should participate in ways to help the homeless that are from our community, but not necessarily ones that are here because it's convenient location. I sat on the original board of Circle of Hope when we built the homeless shelter. The city paid for it, the city helped support it, and then some of the local organizations took it over. It's now being run by Orange County Rescue Mission. But there are options for the community to get involved, and I strongly encourage it, but I don't think we need to be encouraging the panhandlers that are from out of town and ones that are preying on, you know, burglaries and robberies. Thank you.
Well, this is going to go back to collaboration again, and it's important to work with regional governments to solve this issue. And I think, Ross, mentioning the County of Riverside, that is important to work with the County of Riverside and again, collaborate with them and to see what we can do to solve this on a regional basis, because each city is not going to solve the homeless issue by themselves. It's going to have to be solved on a regional basis. And so working with, as a council member, working with the county supervisors, working with other homeless agencies in the region, we can work to solve this issue. We can find areas that need to be fixed, and we can work together to solve those. We can work with the local churches, okay, and help them in their mission to help the homeless. And we can also work with the other homeless missions that are in the county to find ways to help those that do want to help themselves. And we're always going to have an issue with those that don't want to help themselves. And in that sense, that's where we're going to have to encourage the police to keep up their efforts of going through the parks and going down the 6th Street corridor to keep those type of people out of the city.
Well, Corona is not alone with the homeless problem. It's everywhere. So if anybody has any great solutions, they're not out there yet. In fact, Los Angeles City just came up with a new report of the homeless and some of their plans. If anybody would like a copy of that, I'll be glad to forward it to you. There's a lot of great ideas out there. Guess what? I don't have them all. This panel doesn't have them all. The city council doesn't have them all. So I've already came up with this plan that I want 5 citizen committees, because I believe if we get a bunch of people like yourselves involved, start looking at the problems and start coming up with some solutions and recommend those to the city council, I think that's the way to go, because you guys are living the problem when you see those people at City Park and such. So I've got 5 different committees that I want to do. And these committees are not Corona cities, Corona committees. There's no stipends, there's no official titles, there's just a bunch of people getting together, then they will come back to me, and then I'll work with them and try to get them the information they need from the city, and then they will come to the city council and present their findings and their solutions. And homeless is one of those committees I want to start.
We talk about two kinds of homeless. I define them as those that choose to be homeless and those that are there by circumstance. And we need to focus on those that are there by circumstance because those we have more ability to help. And I really focused on the women and children. So during the process of the transition of the shelter, I was very, very involved with that. And it's really important because our children are there and they pay the price for poor decisions or mishaps that families have, and I think that we have the responsibility for all the children, not just our own. I attended a War on Poverty. It's a through SCAG, Southern California Association of Governments. We're looking heavily on the homeless issue throughout Southern California. I sit on the regional council, and it is an issue that is countywide, that is regional-wide, that is statewide, as well as in the U.S. We are already moving forward with that. In the Corona, we have 2 officers dedicated solely for homeless. And the other more important is we have to work with other agencies, and mental health is a really key part to the whole homeless issue.